Hey guys, it's BrickFreek back with another video. Today we're going to be doing our first installment of my Q&A. Remember to leave your questions on my Instagram. Let's get into it. Okay, first up we've got a question from Ensako56. What summer 2020 sets will I buy? Well, obviously there's 9 Star Wars sets coming out, and this is kind of an overview of what I want. Obviously, really would love to get the Razor Crest, quite a high price range though, so if I can, I will definitely buy it. Then of course, the AAT, I'll be really interested in, especially to get that Ahsoka figure and 3/3 figure. I also didn't buy the original Throne Room set, so with obviously the new figures and the new build as well, I'll probably be picking that up. And then of course, the one that everyone has wanted, the 501st Battle Pack. I'll probably pick up at least one of these. Don't know if I'll buy 2, because obviously I've got my AV figures as well, which has more, personalized figures that I prefer. Next up, another question from him is my favorite Jedi and Sith. This was a very similar question asked by Tom.Smith in regards to, as well, my favorite clone battalion. So my favorite Jedi is classic Luke. I love his character, love the originals. It's like what I grew up with, and that's why I love him as my favorite Jedi. And then of course, sticking with the originals, Darth Vader is definitely my favorite Sith. He's such a cool character, and when I first saw him on screen, he was definitely the coolest villain I've ever seen, and I still love him today. My favorite clone battalion, I would say, apart from the 501st of course, is the Doom unit. The colors and their design, as well as I love that arc on the Clone Wars, as it's such a cool battle, and I'd say it's one of the coolest, probably after Umbara, of course. Next up, we have this question from Lego Star Wars Clone Trooper, which is what is my favorite place to eat? And I like a lot of places, and obviously home food is also great, but I'd say my favorite place to eat is Cosmo. It's like this all-you-can-eat buffet. There's a few in the UK. I've only been a few times, but it's really good food. Loads of different choice. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite places I've ever been. Next up, we have a question from Bounty Hunter Brick, and this is, what was my first decal figure? So I've really loved decaling since I've started, but my first figure was a 3/3 Clone Wars style trooper, with the Ahsoka kind of paint on the helmet and then the 501st body. It was an alright figure. However, I did rip the sides due to not carving the arms correctly, as well as the legs were a bit ripped as well, but for a first figure I was pretty happy. Next up, we have a question from B Bills, and he's asked, what do you use to edit your photos? So I use a range of apps and applications. I mostly use Photoshop. It's kind of my favorite to use, as it can do so much. I also use Lightroom to adjust lighting, as well as some smaller focus apps on my phone and just general touch-ups. Up next, we have a question from Embrix.Productions, and his question is, what is my favorite Lego set? I've never had a set that I've really fallen in love with. I love my Millennium Falcon, but out of the sets I have bought, I'd say my ATM6, I really do love. I love the build and the scale of it. It's one of my favorites. Obviously, not everyone's a fan of The Last Jedi, but I really do love the sets for the movie. And then with this, as well as Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, I really love the design. The figures in it are great as well, and it's definitely a really cool build to do. So those are my favorite sets I do have. One of the ones that I really love to have would be one of the gunships. I've always wanted one of those, but never really had the money to get one. And then of course, with the upcoming Razor Crest, I'd love to get that. Obviously the minifigures are great, and the build looks really cool, and it'd be great to display as well as use for some photography. Next up, we have a question from the Geek Nick Vlas, and this is, do I have any unpopular Lego opinions? So I don't have many, but I could say one is, I really want them to stop making remakes of the Millennium Falcon. I don't know if that's unpopular or it is popular, but it's just getting annoying. Like, there's so many other vehicles they could be using, and that kind of annoys me. As well as the 501st Battle Pack, although I do love it and will definitely get it. I think it was slightly overhyped, and the fact that it's a bit of an expensive one. I know they're trying to make it business-wise more expensive so they make more money, but I would have loved it just in one of the small battle packs. Next up, we have two very similar questions from EMG Bricks and SW Bricks and Figs, and that's which decal figure am I most proud of or like the most? I'd say the three I love the most so far have been Fives, Echo, and Rex. You know, love adding the cloth and the little details on them. But I'd say the one I'm most proud of is Fives, because he's such a hard figure to decal. Obviously, the body's very similar to all the others. However, his helmet has the most decals, and getting them all lined up, I felt that the one I did was very well done, especially for my first figure like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this first installment of my Q&A. Remember, if you want to be in the next episode, remember to leave your questions either down in the comments or on my Instagram. And I'll see you guys in the next video.